Well, hi folks, and welcome to thecreditjungle.com. This is George Anderson, and I've done a couple of videos that have been talking about seller financing as being a buyer and a seller. And there's actually ways that you can participate in these types of transactions as an investor. So I'm going to do a couple of short videos starting with this one, just on some common sense type things that I have learned from my 36 now plus years of having had at least one rental property and probably everything in between on a variety of different levels. But I want to just talk briefly about lending money to somebody on a second or even a third mortgage. And one of the things that is a very wise and smart thing to do is that if you're lending money to somebody and it's collateralized against real estate, if you close it at a title company, there's going to be a trust deed and a note, and you're going to be in the second position. The first mortgage means that that one gets paid first at a foreclosure sale. And as long as you feel comfortable with the amount of equity that your second mortgage has in there, say the home is worth $500,000 and there is a $300,000 first mortgage and you're going to lend somebody $50,000 or $100,000 on a second mortgage. If you're pretty comfortable that that home is worth $500,000, then you have got $100,000 to $150,000 of an equity cushion in there. And you could be bouncing along thinking that, hey, I'm getting payments every single month from this person. Everything must be okay. Well, there are situations where you will find somebody where the person who's liable for making that payment, they're making the payment to you, but they're not making the payment on the first mortgage there. And that property could go to a foreclosure sale, and you want to make sure that you know when things are falling apart so that you can have time to prepare to go there to the foreclosure, to the trustee sale, and make sure that you can at least submit a bid as a creditor on there, and maybe even have an opportunity to purchase the home. And I'm going to do another video on a different way to purchase the home that you would know before things and have a chance to cure things. But anyway, the document that we're going to talk about here briefly is what is called a request for notice of default. And so what ends up happening is that in addition to your trust deed being recorded, you are basically putting in there with the county records something that says, hey, if there is a default on the property taxes or on the mortgage, which would both be senior liens to what your position is on there, you're saying that, hey, before there's a tax sale on the property taxes that would trigger a sale or a default on the first mortgage, if any of those occur, I want to have early notice of that so that I have a chance to come in there and maybe cure, bring these notes current, and then perhaps maybe buy the property from the borrower who is in default before it goes to foreclosure. So that's just a little word to the wise, request for notice of default. And anyway, hope that helps you with some of your investing. This is George Anderson. Thanks for coming into thecreditjungle.com today. And push button, give mortgage professional. I'm not going to give investment advice other than just in the context of how mortgages work on there. But I'd love to help you get the best possible financing terms on your next home. Talk to you soon and have a great day.
George of the jungle, strong as he can be.